I can't overemphasize that. Do the needful. Get your PVC, okay? Keyboard warrior is okay. However, if on the 30th of May, you've not pre-registered to complete the process before June, engaging you is a waste of my time because you don't have a voice. You need to have a voice, and that your voice is your PVC. The winner of the election will be the candidate with the highest number of valid votes cast. That is who is going to be sworn in as the president of Nigeria come May 29 next year. Let us stop deluding ourselves. Let us stop being trapped in the captivity of negativity. We are all citizens of this great nation. It is us, we the people, that will decide the path that we want to go. If you don't come out to vote, know that you are enabling the decay of your society, and we will all pay the price together. Nation building is a collective effort. Never ever forget that. It is not the job of the politicians. Thank you.
Thanks, Evolution. Jedidia, go ahead. I want to take female speakers on stage. Jedidia,
okay, thank you. Thank you.
You're a woman. No, you're a man. Now, hold on. Just mute your mic there, please. All of you are trying to scam, man. Just calm down. Don't be like these PDP delegates, I beg you. Bridget, go ahead. I'll bring you back. Go ahead. Bridget, mic is yours. Bridget, are you there? Bridget.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, go on.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be on this space, and it's such a lively thing. And thanks to all the contributors so far. It's been a long way. Personally, I'm very, very happy that this happened, because from what Mr. Evolution said earlier on, I was actually calculating last week Saturday after seeing the hashtag for the 1 million march movement for Peter Obi, and I was like, I was contemplating on my head, like, what happens if he doesn't win the primaries and everything. And from what we can clearly see, everyone can see the politics, like it's like a leech house. We can all see what's happening within the party and how corrupt the system is going. And from the past few days, you can see how people have been going, like the news of going to get back their money from delegates and everything. This is where the corruption starts from. And you can see, for me, I don't have any, let me say, I'm not from the east, like I'm not from the southeast. I don't know how far Peter Obi has gone, but I'm just so tired of hearing people like having not the same set of leaders every time. It's so tiring. Today you're hearing someone from the north, and aside from that, from the past 8 years has been so terrible for Nigerians. Trust me, it's not going well. And it's not as if I'm being paid or somebody is telling me to do this, but I just have this feeling of love, and I just feel like this is the time where Nigerians can actually have it. This is the time we can actually do it. And they saw the news. I was so happy, because if Peter Obi doesn't come out, that means all hope is being taken away from the youth. This is what we want. Nobody is telling us to do this. And like I was joking, we are not going to spend any money on delegates to say, please do this, and then, and they keep doing all this, their backstabbings and everything. Now, it's good that we can see that Peter Obi is a man of integrity, and he's not ready to go into the corrupt trials to get people to vote for him. This is what he wants, and this is what we want as youth. And even though so many of us may not be back there in Nigeria to do the voting, but yes, we have family members, we have friends who are coming from this corrupt system and this bad system over the years. And it's been a terrible thing for all. You can see, for example, what happened in my state. People thinking, if Peter is not coming from PDP, then it's not going to work. It's a big lie. Because this time around, like we said some years ago, it's not about the party anymore. It's about the personality. We don't care which party the person is coming from. What we need is someone who is going to take us off all this bullshit that's been happening in Nigeria. And now what we are seeing now is, we don't care where Peter Obi is coming from. If it's coming from YPP, we follow. If it's coming from anywhere it's coming from, in as much it is Peter Obi. And you can see like this guy is trying to do like all this kind of godfatherism. You're going to vote for my person. Are you paying money? It doesn't. It's not going to end up something good, because the problem starts whereby when you're trying to satisfy a delegate, and when you get into power, you want to satisfy the needs as well, because you want to cover up like your dirty past and everything. This is the problem. And I think this is like, for me, this is the best move. I'm so happy that Peter did the right thing. Someone like, I saw a man's tweet. I don't want to mention him on this. Is saying, "Oh, he was not there in PDP. He was not there some years ago. If the PDP won, like, that's bullshit. Cut it short. We're not talking about the past. We're talking about the present, and we're talking about the future. We're talking about 2023. We're not talking about what happened in 2015. We're not talking about what happened in 2019. We are talking about reality. Like, people should stop talking about the past. Like, that is not it. And whatever happens, it's like Nigerians are deciding for themselves, because whatever happens in 2023 is going to determine the way Nigeria is going to be for the next 4 to 8 years. And trust me, I'm not trying to make enemies with anyone here, regardless of the tribe you're from, regardless of what party you support or anything. Even if I were a PDP member and Peter Obi leaves, I'm going to leave. A good example is see what APC premise is going to be like. Of course, we're not concerned with wherever they put out, wherever first job they bring out, they can never end another year with us, because they don't have the good things to offer us. We have learned in a bitter way, and I'm sure that so many persons on this space and so many Nigeria, we deserve better than this. We have the money, we have the resources, we have everything. It's so shameful. Like, when you talk to your colleagues in school and they say, "Oh, you're from Nigeria, the country with natural resources, with mineral resources." Why is the country still poor? How do you want to explain to people? It's so crazy. Like, you can imagine someone embezzling 435 billion naira. Like, for what reason? Under a government that says, "I'm going to fight corruption," for 8 years. Like, you see, within few months to election, and you can see all these dead things happening. Whereas the EFCC been all this while. It's so crazy. Like, I'm really, really pissed off at the way things are working. And one thing is, like, when you get outside the country and you see the way things are working, and you see that these people don't even have the resources that your country has. Like, is it agriculture? Like, there are some countries in Europe that they don't even have any sort of agriculture. They depend on other countries. Like, this Russian war, Russia and Ukraine war, made us see that some countries cannot even live. But then people from the north say, "Oh, if we divide, you cannot do this, you cannot do this, you cannot live without this." It is not like that. People should face the reality. And this time, 2022 to 2023, this is the time when we have to tell people, look, you have to follow the right path. No matter what the case might be, I know Obi is going to do well. I just have that instinct in me that he's a good man, he's a man of integrity, and he's going to do his own part. Definitely, we're going to get the best. What we just need to do, as we've been encouraged to, is to get our PVCs and make sure we vote for the right people. It's time to stop the suffering. And I hope everyone has learned, and of course, everyone on this page, even though they might be spies, you want to hear what people have to say. Hope you can just clearly now. We are saying that anywhere Peter Obi goes to, we follow him. Peter Obi is the candidate, and that is who we want for the to be the president of Nigeria come 2023. We don't want anyone to come and say,
Sorry,
"Oh, because you do this," and some kind of person that would not in the following years be able to hold a post, and then we start spending hospital bills and everything again. Thank you so much for holding this space. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, let me go ahead. Mike is yours.
Hi, good evening, and thank you to the host of the space. When it comes to Peter Obi, we're not contesting anything for me personally, people who know me on my social media page, Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter, I do what I can do. But I'm talking about the party. How do we crowdfund? How do we come together? States that I am from Niger State. He does not have the popularity in my state. I'm speaking for myself. So how do we help people that know that Toby does not have popularity in their state and get people to move and get to get supporters for him and in Niger State or states that he does not have popularity? How do we raise money? What are the expectations? What are the account number outside the ones that are flying on social media? How do we come together? People that are on this space that are really serious about this man's movement. There's no point making noise. If you know you're for Peter Obi, how do you want to help? Do you want to campaign on social
All right, thanks, Lamine. So let's take Boss Lady, and then we'll continue the rotation back to Jadidia. Go ahead, Boss Lady. If Boss Lady is not there, let's take Bella. Bella, you there? Ada Bobby.
I'm here.
Bella going once, going twice. Okay, Jadidia, let's take you next. Okay, no, hold on. I have one more lady. Iyalode, go ahead. Mike is yours.
Good
Jadidia, hold
evening,
on. Let's take
everyone.
Iyalode first. Yes, one.
My name is Christiana, and I'm so grateful to the organizers of this space. One thing I want to state for sure is that Nigeria's problem is currently deep. And number one problem I'm encountering with talking to people about these general elections is tribalism. The first thing people tell me is, Omo Yoruba niye, like you're a Yoruba girl. Why are you going all out for someone that is not even from your tribe? But irrespective, I believe that Nigeria is blessed. And if of the people that are coming out to contest now, Peter Obi is the best person. Let us all give him a shot at this presidency. I'm very glad that he left PDP, because in my head I've been thinking that there's this saying that when they get there, the godfathers, the party members, they have this one they want to, they have this one they want to do. And I think getting him there, and I'm imploring everybody to get their PVC. Let's talk to people. Let's do free publication. You don't have to be paid. And to the people that have the influence, let's focus on the media that is available to the average poor man. Radio jingles, anything. Nigerians are tired, but they need a choice that they can relate with. So let's be able to put a choice that they can relate with in their faces. Let's take Peter Obi to every level in the nook and crannies of Nigeria. It's not going to be easy, but please, I know we can do it. If we move the endsars protest in the 36 states of Nigeria, then we can do it this time. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time.
Yeah, let me just pick Yellow. Thank you very much for that. Obviously, I think I know you to understand that. I don't think you should take anything serious when someone talks about tribalism this time. I mean, tribalism killed our parents' generation, and if we're not careful, it will also be our own enduring. The truth is, it doesn't matter who leads us in this country. It's about who's the best candidate to move forward. Me, myself, as Yoruba, just like you said, I don't believe the likes of Tinubu and Oshibanjo has what it takes. Oshibanjo has been the vice president of this country. See where they led us today. You understand? So the truth is, whoever is telling you that, they just ignore them place. It's about who the right candidate is to move us forward. Thank you. Boss lady, are you back now, boss lady? Go ahead, the mic is yours.
Yes, I'm back. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Right now, I'm so very, very happy. I've been on this space since, let's just say like 7 o'clock. My challenge right now is we have less than 5 to 6 days before the online registration for the PVC will end. And a lot of people don't even know about this. I don't know if there's any way we can, look for a way to just create a movement. Let's just go into the streets, and sensitize people, let them know the needs for them to register online. Maybe at the end of the day, still go and get their PVC, which is no matter how much we want P2B to win, if we don't have PVC, if a lot of us don't have this PVC, there's no way we're going to vote. And when we have the PVC, we'll still have the way to vote. At the end of the day, we'll actualize our dream, because I know this is a movement. This is I believe this is, okay, let me just exaggerate. I believe this is I just say 95% or 90% of every young Nigerians, every young, as in youth in Nigerians' dream for P2B to, be the president of this country. But there is a process. So let's just start. Like, we have less than how many days? I believe by 30th of May, the online registration will end. You understand? So let's just take this. Let's just look for a way to make it a movement. Let's just push it for going to the streets and, sensitize people. Let everybody know. This is Nigeria. It's time for us to take back. If not for anything, let's just think back and remember what these people did to us. All these old recycled politicians, what they did to us during the endsars. You understand? Let's just use it. Let's just channel all those. I know even till tomorrow, whenever I remember endsars, I still feel angry within my spirit. Like, I don't know. But I believe this is the time for us to fight back. We couldn't fight them then because we don't have the voice, or we don't have whatever it takes. But right now, this is when we have every authority, every power for us to do whatever we have to do. Please. Thank you very much.
Thanks for that, boss lady. All right, so let's take Jedidia, then we'll take Sheik, and we'll keep it rolling. Jedidia, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I would like to just make a quote from Game of Thrones. Power resides where men believes it resides. And it's time to take APC and PDP away. I believe what just happened is a test for the youth. It's time to test our resolve and our strength. And we need to really look at the data. It's above emotions. Over 60% of Nigerians, probably the generation S, have never been or cannot access social media. And a good part of the Northerners, the people in the grassroots, we would need their votes. They listen to the radio, media. 40% of Nigerians have access to the televisions, the newspaper. Even though with the digital age is winding off, but still, we need to move fast and strong. We need to, because the truth is, PDP was a good platform, no doubt, but since Peter Obi is no longer in PDP, if we were giving 2% support, we need to increase it, the intensity, the resolve, the determination. It's going to be like a warfare. I'm not talking about war, a good warfare against bad governance, against the status quo. So I believe we need to look at the data. We need to go to the grassroots. It is impossible for a third force to win in this country without going to the grassroots, without going there. I don't know, through the best media platform we can communicate.
So let me ask you this question. Sorry, Jedidia. So who is
Okay.
grassroots? When you say grassroots, what are you referring to?
I'm referring to those people that don't really have access to social media.
So those are grassroots to you. No, I'm just
Hello?
asking that question politely. I'm asking a very polite question. So to you,
Okay.
that's who you refer to as grassroots. The people that don't have access to social media.
People that don't have access to social media, people that are like, that are not really aware of what's going on online.
So those are the people you consider grassroots, Jedidia.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but I'm sorry, those are not grassroots. But again, let me let you finish. Go ahead, please. We'll come back to that.
Thank you. But probably those are the people I'm referring to for the meantime. And we need to reach out to them because we need their votes. We need to apply every reasonable media platform to push our candidates and to get the desired results. Looking at the party that took away PDP, I'm talking of APC. APC merged CPC, AC, ANPP. So we can also look at the fact that Obi should get into a party that can merge with other parties like SDP. We're hearing of NNPP and other. The calculation need to be right to give him the right platform to stand as that third force that can take away PDP and APC.
All right, I love your analysis. Seems like you're a political analyst. I would like to know how many elections you've helped people win. But then again, those would be very rude questions to ask in a forum like this. We want it to be open space where people have freedom.
You need to stop actually bullying my.
No,
my
I'm not bullying.
speakers.
I'm not bullying. I'm not
And
bullying.
the
I'm not
question you
bullying.
asked, I think that from his reference, it could be right when it says grassroots, because at times grassroots means the ordinary people,
And I want to
who do not have
I
a
want to
lot of
interpret.
money and power.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know.
And I want to do that. So let me do that for him. So he was trying very hard.
Aki, my definition says that grassroots means the ordinary people who do not have a lot of money and power. But you have money. For those who don't know, Aki is the CEO of House of Lunettes. They make the best glasses in Nigeria and beyond. They have a lot of branches in the country. So when we say grassroots, Aki, you're not grassroots though, because you have money. You're not grassroots.
All right.
Have access to. You have access.
Thanks for outing me.
You have access to. At least you have access to power. So you're not grassroots. Oluomo is not grassroots. Oluomo is earning pounds. So when you say Oluomo is grassroots, how can Oluomo be grassroots? Grassroots means ordinary people. Ordinary people don't have pounds. So they're the people on the streets that are hustling for their like people like me now. We are hustling for our our daily bread. Those are the people where I think that when people define, they could say grassroots, because then they're talking about the people. So when you say you are grassroots, I'm sorry, sir, you're not grassroots.
Respectfully, on Twitter, we are considered grassroots. You have 400,000 followers.
Oh, you can say that. You can say that on Twitter.
Wait.
Okay.
So you see, the universe is different now. You understand? So on Twitter, you are like a Warren Buffett. You are like a Donald Trump. You are like a what other guy? Elon Musk. You are in that realm. And so leave us people on the floor. Just leave us in our little corner. So, anyways, not to put Jedi on the spot, and the reason why I like to equally ask these very pointed questions is the fact that we have been sold a very false interpretation of some of these words, with a lace of political deceit. I say this because when politicians go on campaign tours and they're addressing people and grassroots, they are saying and poor people. There's no other reference to communicate with these people other than the fact that they picked a word out of the dictionary and applied it in a very, very dishonest manner. Grassroots is poor people. When you talk of market women, the impoverished class, the lowest people in society that cannot have access to government services or can't afford 3 square meals, that's who they refer to as grassroots. So call them what they are, the poorest amongst us, the impoverished class, the disenfranchised class. Call them that. But you're trying to lace it with political speak. This is JDDL, and you're not doing intentionally. You're just saying people that don't have data and people that cannot be on. No, call them what they are. Because now you're a politician and you go and you address them and you call them the poorest people. You're reminding them that they are poor. You're reminding them that the system has kept them poor. But guess what? Political dishonesty and deceit is how we communicate. This generation, we're going to call it the way it is. If we're going to a poor community where people don't have access to clean water, don't have access to toilets, don't have access to good schools, I will say it like it is. Because their resources is what people are using to pay delegates 3 million and 5 million and 10 million each. So let's say it the way it is, guys. Stop masking these words in a bid to just pacify people who are expected to be angry. Call them what they are. Let them know that they are poor. And government is supposed to work for them, not against them. And I think this is how we start changing the narrative of a Nigeria that means well for many of us. And again, I didn't mean to throw that question back if you've helped someone win an election, but I'm just saying, when we come up on stage here, we hear strategy. Let politicians do their politicking. I'm not going to tell Peter Obi what the best approach for him is, because I've never helped anyone win the presidency. Maybe Oluomo of Debbie has. Maybe Renu Sunday will help, win a rock for someone. But I'm yet to do that. So let's be very careful, because it's becoming a broken record. I hear it all the time. People come up with strategy. Donate 5,000 naira, donate 2,000 naira, and let them do the difficult work. You go into your neighborhood, find your friends, find your neighbors that have not gotten PVCs, drive them to PVC registration centers, and get them to register. Do your own as a citizen. Let politicians do their politicking. I yield. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, my co-host. I think I'll go to Ujunwa, then come to Sheikh. Ujunwa, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening.
Yeah, please go ahead, Ujunwa. Welcome.
Okay,
And thank you everyone that stayed on this space. I don't take it for granted. If you're just joining, please help me share the space to your followers. Let them join the conversation. I'm sorry to have interrupted you, Ujunwa. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. I've been on this space since it started, and I don't agree with some submissions. And well, I think what we should, anyway, what I've been doing since this P2B thing started is, I think I've been consistent users, because I send the INEC, online registration to virtually everybody on my WhatsApp. Have you registered? And you should know that PO is a very successful human being. You don't become that successful without being intentional. Okay? If he has made this move now, he has thought it out for some time and said, this is the best thing for me to do. And what we should be talking about here right now is how to crowdfund this campaign. Because for him to leave the PDP at this point, it means he already has where he's going to. He will make an announcement, like he said, in the next few hours. We should be thinking that, because everybody knows that campaign is money. And since the youths, from the data that INEC published, has more registration in the recent one. So I believe a lot of the youths are now getting more interested in politics and now getting more exposed to politics. So we should think about a way to crowdfund. I remember one time, I don't know when it happened, one guy that came to cry on the streets of Port Harcourt that his baby was sick, blah, 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 blah. And I remember that Nigeria started crowdfunding for the guy. I don't know if anybody that remembers that story, that that the guy got like 72 million in 3 hours. I can't remember. I don't know how many remember that story. Just imagine the number of supporters that PO has, and we start crowdfunding those that say they don't have money, 1,000, 2,000. Then those that are doing work can up it, you understand? And then we match all those politicians money for money. And I know a lot of people that are in the diaspora that are willing to even, bring in money for this campaign. I think that's where we should be focused on now, because for this step that P2B took today, it means he already has a plan he said he would be on that ballot paper. All we need to do now, as people that we want Nigerian to work, this nation is not working. We want this nation to work. Let's make plans on how to crowdfund. They said it's not popular in the north. What do? Also, people they listen to radios. Let's pay radio stations to do jingles. Let it be in their ears 247. P2B jingles is in their ears. They will start asking, who is this? Who is this guy? Who is this guy? You know, it's money that will do all that. In all these days, they said that he's not popular. Let's find out what attracts people there and make him popular there. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. So, but are you the mic? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sister. I agree with you 100%. I mean, if Nigerians can raise 83 million naira for Damugaba of all people, hey, we can raise even 1 billion naira for Mr. P2B. So I'm going to do this evening. I've got a lot of gentlemen on this place this evening. Let's even raise 5 billion naira. You understand, Mr. Akin? I mean, if you get in touch with one of Obi and P2B's what's it called team, let them give us an account by where we can deposit. A lot of Nigerians in diaspora are ready. Even on this space tonight, Mr. Akin, 1 million naira. Mr. Sheikh, 1 million
No,
naira.
no, no, no. Don't
Sari,
give.
1 million
Don't.
naira. Hold
Oluomo.
on, relax. My
Mr. Aki,
barrister,
2 million.
Mr. Akin,
Everything
let's
is
pick his
double.
name.
Mr. Aki, 2 million.
My barrister F Young is on here. Barrister F Young, 1 million naira. This is 5 million naira already. And me myself, I'll put 1 million naira. That's 5 million naira already. If Nigerians can raise 83 million naira for Adamu Gaba of all people, Mr. Crow, that has no business on this app, guess what? We can raise 1 billion naira comfortably for P2B. So what we need tonight, P2B's company, if you're hearing, we need an account number. Put it out there. Peter Obi's crowdfunding account number. No wuru wuru, no jaga jaga. Every penny counts. We say that. That's the way forward. I need the mic for now.
I just laughing at
Oluomo,
Mr.
pounds is 800. Reno, remind him, pounds is 800. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just laughing at the Mr. Crowd who has no business on this house. I mean, but give Mr. K 2 million, then you can the one that is remaining, you guys can send it to my account. Shake, the mic is just.
Okay, hi, thank you everybody, and it's always good to be back in this kind of spaces. But I think today we're seeing something very positive, and I think I've been listening for a while because I joined a bit later, and it's been very positive seeing the vibe and what people believe. The point is, everything is possible, and that's one thing I would always say. Can Obi win the election? Yes. Can Obi lose the election? Yes. But the fact is, it is about what we say will happen. If we truly believe that the power is ours, this is our opportunity to go and prove that rather than keep saying it. A few things I would like to put out there. Olomo, you said account number. Anybody that wants to donate, there's a P2B support network endorsed by P2B already. It's P2B support network. Just go there. They have an account already set up. That has been going on since. So if you want to donate, if you're saying you're looking for where to donate, P2B support network, ask them. You will see the account number there straight up. If you
put on the Sheikh, can you put it on the space force, please? Let's see. So we can donate from there.
I'll try to retweet it. That's P2B support network. In terms of the CPO, which organized the 1 million march, if you go through the social media handles, you will see the various WhatsApp group in various states and local government that organize 1 million march. You can start from there. If you feel that you want to wait, see, we can't keep waiting. There's a lot that you can do within your space. Have you gotten everybody around you to have their PVC? That is something you can do. If you feel that you want to start saving 1,000 today and you feel that you want to give it to be 10,000, you can start putting that 1,000 with your friends today and be waiting for you to get any account number. Anything you want to do, you can do. Now, because I think we want to go back to this mosaic complex where we always feel that somebody is going to come do it for us. The truth is, P2B is a Nigerian citizen like you and I. He has put himself out there. We need to put ourselves out there. I remember in the past, we had this whole conversation, is P2B popular enough? When people started making him the conversation, you started seeing more people buying every day. The point is, we can take this war to them. PDP, APC will do what they want to do. And the truth is, for my own place, I don't know about anybody, but I know that most of the even the key players in the politics have been saying it, that see, for presidency, all they know is if the youth want to back P2B, the youth should go and back P2B. They will do their local elections for their state government and all of that. So if it's the P2B's case, the fact is it's a free way for us if we want to work. And waiting for somebody to come and tell you what to do, I think we have gone past that level. Start from where you work, start from your church. Start, like somebody said here, everybody on her WhatsApp message, that is the population you have there. If everybody pick up their phone here, we probably all have up to 100 minimum as contacts. Have you chatted them up to check whether they all have their PVC? Your school groups, your fellowship groups, all of that, have you started the work from there? Because the fact is, little by little, we will all coalesce at the end of the day. Because why P2B is a candidate that we are saying, okay, yes, we all bank on and say, what about if he decides to say, okay, you know what, I'm not contesting anymore. Are we going to stop? No, we look for somebody else and back. So the thing is, we all need to start doing the work wherever we find ourselves. Resources in various forms, both your time and all of that. Can you tell yourself that, okay, I will devote 1 hour every day to preach P2B's gospel? Can I devote 1 hour every day to talk about good governance? There was the FCA, we talked about it, 1 for 5, where they said, you get 1 PVC, get 5 people to get one on their PVCs, support. All of that is happening here. So let's not stop waiting for this thing and stop thinking that, okay, anybody is going to come and organize. Why we believe that those things will come true, the fact is, keep giving the people that are out there the momentum by showing your commitment. Start telling people that, see, on my street, I have 50 people already. I have 10 people already. This is what we need. In my church, I have 5 people. In my school, I have 10 people. This is what needs to be done to be able to build that movement that we're talking about. So let's not continue this, who direct us. See, right now, the same way NSAS happened, people in various places picked it up. Like, till tomorrow, I'll still say it. That day I was at work when Reno and the 13 of them were out there the first time when they were at the police headquarters. And that is how we had NSAS. If they had kept on saying they are waiting for some people to push it out today, we would never have the NSAS today that we are using as a rallying point. And when NSAS went out, we saw that before you know it, somebody out there put out an account number. Before you know it, somebody said, okay, I'm going to cook for them. I'll take food to them in the morning. Before you knew it, somebody said, you know what, I am going to start it in Kanu. Before you knew it, somebody else said, I was going to start it in Akwa Ibom. That is what we need. That is the momentum. Be your own leader in your own small fair, and we will all connect the dots later. This election is going to shock people. Like I said, before we used to have the primaries around November, December. And so 2 months before you know it, we've done the election and it's over. This time around, hello, brothers and sisters, we are marching for 7 months. That is more than enough time to change whatever dynamic. Let us just go and get our PVCs. Make sure that we are ready. We are going to be marching from the primaries to the main election for about 7 months. Hello, that is a lot of time to march. So let's get ready. Fasten your seatbelt. It's going to be an interesting journey. At the end of the day, win or lose, we will walk with our head up high. That what? We've started something. And whether 2023 starts, it is a marathon. It is not just a sprint. At the end of the day, this is our country. We will take them back. Thank you very much.
I think Akin has gone to look for the 2 million naira for the donation, which is quite applaudable. Sir Abiyo, please, the mic is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much. I think I've listened to passionate people talking about the latest developments in the country. I think I saw it coming. I did a tweet, I think 2 days ago, asking, peering Peter Obi and Kwankwaso and all of that. It was just to guess what was coming. I'm not saying really it was going to be Peter Obi Kwankwaso. I think the last speaker said something very fundamental, which the main parties are not saying, which is this is going to be a 7-month grueling, painstaking campaign. Is enough for young people to turn the tide. And it's going to be a movement like no other if they're able to build a coalition, especially the coalition of the belief. People always think that any road cannot be made. or could not be made. But for me, I think it's possible. Peter Obi is the real version of Buhari if uh, people really want to simplify it to the an average northern voters. Because what the average northerners had expected from Buhari to do in terms of running a decent, open, transparent, and a lean government, or a prudent government, was what Peter Obi exemplified during his uh, during his administration in Anambra State. All that is needed for Peter Obi is for those core northerners, those southwesterners, different parts who have deep understanding of what Peter Obi actually represents, and those people are able to simplify it to the average Nigerian in the north in the simple Hausa language, in various tribal language. Believe me sincerely, by the time they hear the Peter Obi story and they believe, it will be massive. And let me also say this: we borrow democracy without the software. The software that updates democracy, people through funding. I'm sure it's strange to some of the local political players in Nigeria today that as we go into the midterm election in America, some sitting Congress members have already raised thousands of dollars. There's people who are actually earning money. So until we're able to reset democracy, restructure democracy in such a way that power returns to the people and the people are the one funding uh, the candidate. And in a process where there is still, in a situation where we have found ourselves that the major political parties today have turned the entire thing into a bazaar. Look at the kind of money they are spending. Imagine paying as much as 2 million, 3 million to delegate to win House of Reps ticket. So what are you going to go to? And those who spend that money are still going to face the general election. They will kill to get it. So this is the problem we found ourselves. And I think that there could be what we call a paradigm shift. And the people will say, look, let us do away with what is not working. Let us embrace what can work. And before I go on, let me quickly say this. I don't think until Peter Obi himself has announced his party and has publicly announced is the official account in which people will be putting money. I don't think people should put money in any account. I'm sure that if he does that, by the time he's ready, he will definitely announce how people are going to support him. But because believe me sincerely, I believe that if the man decides to run, he's going to turn around the fortune of Nigerian politics. It's going to be a very uh, serious departure from what we used to have. And something similar is happening in Ekiti. Anybody who knows the SDP candidate in Ekiti, Shegoni has no money. I can tell you how people are contributing money at ward level, at local government level. I've never seen something like that before. And that is why today he is, in fact, not just neck and neck with APC, but almost topping every polling. Now, I'm talking about sincere, transparent polling in Ekiti today. That is the choice of the people when it comes to allowing the people to make their free will. And one thing this Peter Obi thing we do to Nigerians is that at least for the first time, or maybe in a long while, can't remember. I think the last time we have that kind of movement was a genuine movement outside the mainstream party was during Sir Aminu Kano. General Buhari has tried to exemplify, but it's difficult today for us to put an icing on the Buhari struggle with what we've seen so far. Buhari is just, I can't say, I think it's just a deceptive personality when it comes to this issue of somebody running a Spartan life. It's totally not true. But Peter Obi is a billionaire who has even lived a life that someone like Buhari ought to have lived. Yeah, Buhari will say, I'm not a billionaire, but living a life of a billionaire. So that is it. Largely this campaign will be how people are able to sell Peter Obi sincerely to the people. But I think that it's a good product. It's marketable. I believe that 5 months sell this guy, and definitely is going to give the PDP and APC a good run for their money. So I want to thank the people who convene this platform, at least allowing people to ventilate their opinions, to speak. And I want to assure you that uh, hopeful there is hope for our democracy if we sincerely take this thing offline to online. I mean, sorry, from online to offline, and people are able, participate actively, not just getting their PVC, but coming out to vote, not just coming out to vote, but ensuring that their vote counts. And I am hopeful. I'm hopeful that there's going to be a reset in Nigerian politics. The tsunami is still coming. People are going to leave. The APC own joker is still coming. You never can tell who they are going to pick, what's going to be the way out. So hopefully, there will be a meeting point. The only thing is just that we don't want any corrupt person now to be the face of any movement that they will now be calling us to come and support. No, but I think Peter will be fair enough is not one of them. I think he has demonstrated himself to be very outstanding, and which is good for our democracy, and I appreciate him. I appreciate that. So I just want to comment you guys.
So sorry, thanks for joining us. I've always wanted to throw this question to you, either via WhatsApp. I think I just got so disillusioned that I couldn't even care less anymore. So you're seeing all these tweets, I think from Sheikh Husani about, Namadi Sambo's son paid out 5 million to a delegate of many, stripes, and all of them bamboozled him. We saw the guy in Delta that collapsed, or they use the word slumped, after he was being hailed winner or winner, only to find out that he lost. I think that video of that guy slumping, I know he's somebody's father, so I don't want to make mockery of the situation. I think a man's health is not one we joke with, but it's just a symbol of the cesspool of corruption that this whole political party structure, sits upon. And when you take that man's video slumping, he may have worked hard for his money. He's a doctor, as I heard. I don't know if he's Doctor Emeritus or one of those PhD doctors you buy, or perhaps a medical doctor, because again, he's part of a political system that's corrupt. But then again, I want to ask this question: in our electoral campaign finance laws, are there not provisions in there that makes it a crime to induce delegates accepting payments? Like, is there not a law? I'm lost. I'm looking for it. You probably know that Electoral Act more than anyone else does. What are your thoughts, man? Sari, are you there? I don't know if I lost you.
No, he's here. Okay. Sario.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, go on.
Can I
Yes,
speak?
go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, there are various there are provisions in the electoral that frown at this. It's there in this Electoral Act 2022. The only thing is that getting them arrested, enforcing it, and all of that, that is the problem that we face. I think we must have a conversation post 2023 in terms of how we want to sanitize our electoral process, because we're already in this deep mess now because they are committing these infractions. What we now need to do is, number one, is how do we prevent vote buying, going to 2023, how to raise the consciousness of the voters. Are we able to get the buying of the police to implement some of those, to implement the sanctions that are contained in the electoral 2022 against those who probably be around doing vote buying. So it's a system collapse. For instance, one major problem that we face in terms of the implementation of this electoral act is just not it's not actually that fault of INEC, is the fault of the number one leader in the country. The president is not committed. For instance, that political will is also needed to galvanize the police, to galvanize various institutions on the country. For instance, you can't see the president to say, I'm alarmed by what I'm reading, by what I'm seeing. I think the police should arrest those who are involved in this. I think, and all of that. That is the position of a statesman, a good leader. But we're not seeing that from the president. It was rhetoric. Look at the nomination form of his party, 100 million. Now, those who pay 3 million, 2 million to get a single vote, just imagine what those people are going to do on election day. They're going to pay thugs. They're going to increase the insecurity, contribute to worsening the insecurity situation of this country. Because believe me sincerely, they will do everything to win. Everything to win. And we are going to run into serious procrastination. So I don't want to distract us with so much about that, but I think it's a conversation we must have. I will share, Akin, I will share a document with you that contains the offenses and the sections in the Electoral Act that has been sorted. I will share that with you. See it. I think it's a conversation we need to have another day so that people will see the penalties and all of that. But believe me sincerely, that will is not there on the part of the government, and INEC is burdened by a lot of commitment, court cases here and there, and all of that. So maybe we also now need to talk about devolving INEC in such a way that there are different departments that are also handling this and all of that, so that we can implement the law. But the laws we do have in terms of teaching those who are involved in these shady activities.
Thanks, Ari. I appreciate it. Stay with us on stage. Inibeheg, go ahead. Mike is yours.
Thank you for the invitation. I hope you could hear me. You can hear me clearly.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, sometimes it's really hard to talk about Nigeria as a country. Now, every time I have the opportunity of speaking or making contribution in spaces of political nature, I usually ask one question: have Nigerians suffered enough? I think this is a question that we have to honestly confront going towards the 2023 general elections. I'm saying that because there is this, very irritating thing we get to see among even the supposedly intelligent and knowledgeable people, especially on Twitter space. There seems to be a default argument, a default position, right? A default narrative against any person that seems to offer some glimpse of hope. So the moment you appears to be a departure from the rotten status quo, you are confronted with this hostile argument that you cannot make it, you are not good enough, you are coming out too early, you don't have a choice, you have to choose between the devil and the deep blue sea. So it is Showore not good enough, Kingsley Mogalo not good enough, Peter Obi could not have been the PDP candidate, he's not good enough, he's not a politician. There is always an argument, ready-made argument against anybody that is speaking a language that has some form of departure from the status quo. And I usually ask the question, when will we agree that we have suffered enough as a country? If you look at the history of countries that are doing well, we will all arrive at the one conclusion, that at a time, at a given point in the history of those countries, something drastic, something revolutionary, something fundamental took place politically that changed the history of those countries. And that explains why Nigerians must answer this question that I keep asking, whether we have suffered enough. Because if we have suffered enough, why should it be difficult? Why should it be so hard for us to say Since these two evil brothers, APC and PDP, have made up their mind to work against this country, we are going to try something else. And I did say in one of the spaces, and I hope they will prove me wrong, that APC and PDP will not give their tickets to anybody that appears to be a departure from the status quo. I don't see how that is going to happen. Whether it is PDP, whether it is Article, whoever you are looking at. What am I trying to say? I can only wish Peter Obi well. All of us know the forces he was contending with, right? All of us know what he had to deal with. And you know, what I'm about to say is controversial. Some people will be offended. But I've said it before, that for Nigeria to really move forward, APC and PDP must die. I don't see how these two parties and Nigeria will survive. One has to give way to the other. I do not see it. People will make the argument, oh, it is not the party, it is the individual. But when you look at it, when you scrutinize it, yes, it is people who make the party. But there is a mindset that goes with that identity, right? So let us assume the last 7 years that we have had a party in opposition called PDP. I ask us a question: what have they done differently? What has been their position on policy, right? On independence of the judiciary, on local government autonomy, on transparency? How many PDP states can we say is being run properly today? Look at what the PDP governors are doing. In my state today, Akwa Ibom, you have this funny man called Udom Emmanuel that claims he wants to be president. He single-handedly brought one unknown person from nowhere, imposed him on the PDP today, right? From nowhere, he hijacked the delegate list. Nobody could make an impute. And that is a party that claims to be a democratic party. So when you see the madness that is happening in the PDP, and the madness that you are so convinced that Nigeria has no option, that it is either this party kill us, right? Or there is no other alternative. If we are so convinced that there can be no alternative to PDP and APC, why not just stay neutral? Well, I want to summarize. For those of you that have the time, I wish you good luck. I have lost my patience. I do not think I want my kids to come and meet Nigeria the way it is. So those who keep making excuses while the status quo cannot be changed, good luck to you. Some of us have run out of patience. We've run out of time. Nigeria has to change in a lifetime. And it is our responsibility as people that have exposure to ensure that that happens. So going towards 2023, we must make up our minds. What is the argument against Peter Obi in PDP? Oh, he doesn't have the structure. Oh, he doesn't have the money. Oh, he's too radical. Oh, this blah, 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 blah. Who are the people that decide that they want? Who are the so-called strong contenders? Look at Wike. Look at what the madness in Rivers State. You have a governor stacking the entire state executive council, sacking the chief of staff, everybody that he appointed in the cabinet. Why? He claimed they are not 100% loyal, that they have a political view on who should take over from him. Some of them are holding meetings regarding that, not challenging his aspiration to be president. So Wike is saying, why will you support somebody else in the PDP to be governor other than me? So after he has finished his tenure for 8 years, he feels it is his birthright to determine who should take over from him. And this is the character of the man that wants to be a president. So we have to really make up our minds as a people, right? We must make up our mind to either move the country forward or we continue to suffer. Nigerians, I think the options are quite clear. The options are quite clear. It is either we make up our mind to move this country forward and do all that it takes within our lifetime, or we allow our children to continue to come and continue with our silly excuses, right? But I have made up my mind that if I cannot change Nigeria, I will never be part of those who are keeping it the way it is. So the choice is entirely asked. Thank you.
All right, thanks for that.
Thank you very much.
No, wise words. Rena, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something to the to lawyer Inibe, I don't think that Nigerians have an elastic point, and that's one thing we need to realize. We are a resilient people. That makes me proud that I'm from Nigeria. But that resilience will work against us in so many ways because we don't have elastic limit. If you see when at some point in time, I used to ask myself, have we not suffered enough? Suffer no they tire you. But these days, I have realized, say, at times, so suffer no they tire some people, and some of those people are Nigerians. We don't get tired. You see, we have faced so much. I want you to understand this. I may be joking, but then to be candid, we have gone through so much that what again won't come, which one again won't come again, where we no go overcome, or how do I want to say it? There's no problem that is going to come. Problem when they finish for this country. There's no problem that will come again that we will not overcome. We will overcome everything. We started from from the military days, enter democracy, enter terrorism, enter everything. Do you know how many bad incidences have happened this 2022? We still move on because we don't get elastically meet. Now our curse and our blessing, we don't get. So please, you people that say Nigerians have we not suffered enough? I don't think that Nigerians will get to a place where they will say we have suffered enough because we've taken the status quo and we have turned it into the normal. Someone I know we say Nigerians have taken the abnormal and they've turned it into the normal. Someone said something about being outside the country, and then people will say, "Oh, you're a Nigerian, so why is your country like that?" I've had that experience. When somebody looked at me and say, "So you're from Nigeria?" I said, "Yes," and the person said, "Your country literally has a lot of resources, a lot of people. You guys in West Africa. Why don't you guys organize yourself?" I had two reactions. I didn't know whether to cry or to just hold the person shit and say, what's your problem? Why are you asking me this kind of question? It was two simultaneous reactions. I just started looking at the person, and these are the sort of questions people ask you, like, "Oh, why is your country this way? Oh, what's happening to you guys? Why are you guys like that?" There's this image about us out there. The fact is that we so far know the tire us as Nigerians. Let us accept this reality. And this also, makes me remember our spaces. We've been holding spaces every Saturday from January, and in April we took a break. Although I had exams, but there were just too much things happening, and I am a very emotional person. So to come every day and still come and talk about elections while people are dying, there's a lot of crazy things happening in my country. I sort of got a strain on my mental health, so I had to take a break. And each Saturday, I want to open the space. Something else is happening. The rice killed there, rice killed there. 60 farmers killed in Borno. Some people killed in Zamfara. Some people killed in the southeast. I mean, this loss of lives almost every day. We Nigerians are dying. Thousands of Nigerians are dying because of terrible governance. And something just held me back and said, how do I try to convince people to still believe in this nation that seems to be rewarding its citizens with death? And I just had to stop. But then tonight, I don't know, I probably got an inspiration, motivation from my co-host, and I said, okay, let's hold space. It's been a terrible time for Nigerians in general. Especially this year, last year, I don't even know which year has not been terrible. Is it 2020 was not terrible for us? Is it 2021 that wasn't terrible? It's been terrible since way back, maybe as 2010. It's been terrible ever, but at least we know the better days. So this is just answering in a way that when you're saying have we not suffered enough? Nigerians, I don't think we can. There's a point in time where we reach and say we've suffered enough. It takes people like you and me to start having to remind people of issues and let us act fast. Let us act fast, rather, because another 100 people could be killed in Lagos tomorrow, and we will still move on. Oluomo, Akin, over to you.
All right. So, as you, Uluma, I have you coming shortly, but I'm just reading a tweet that was retweeted by this clueless party called PDP. And it says on behalf of, a subset of PDP called PDP Vanguard Forum said, we regret the resignation of our leader, Peter Obi. The resignation was awful, shocking, and terrible. I don't know who wrote that tweet, but that person needs their head examined. PDP is your party. We need you. We need to negotiate and make a deal. Anyways, find the tweet, read it. I'm still trying to process how a political party or a subgroup of a party would tweet such a message. I think the message is clear. The reactions, obviously, on Twitter. If you look at all of the Twitter conversations with Peter Obi, I hope he's a shareholder or owns stocks in Twitter because as far as this 2022 cycle is concerned, or 2023, I think this government, first of all, might even be regretting reopening Twitter or lifting the ban because it's not going to work in their favor. Perhaps they lifted the ban to allow for political promotion of their failed policies, but I don't think anybody's going to give them breathing space. Enibe has said many things that were very, very, very striking. And I think one is down to the fact that many Nigerians don't want to wear this tag of APC PDP, looking at the last, let me call it 23 years of rots we've seen. You could see me ask Rio about the electoral campaign finance laws we have and understanding why candidates will come out in open air and say, I paid a man 2 million, 30 of them, and they ran away with my money, as though he paid them for a service or for goods and they failed to demand. So maybe he's going to go to Consumer Complaints Commission and file a complaint that he bought delegate votes and they did not mail the votes to his house address with DHL. I'm even trying to understand it. Or is it the delegates that some of them are being chased around at night with thugs and babalawo, and I'm hearing, to refund the money that will go to the police and report that the politician is after my life? Like, who is breaking the law here? It's just madness. But then again, this Banana Republic type situation we're seeing, this cesspool of corruption that has come to stay in our politics. When people promote APC or PDP, I say these are the only two options we have. Again, I think maybe many things I said a year ago, probably coming back to just vindicate me, because I've always said this. At some point, a third force is possible. And people say, oh, we will never have the perfect storm in Nigeria. It's not who we are. It's not how we vote. We don't vote on ideology. I can tell you for one thing, everyone in this room, everyone on this stage has the same leaning in terms of what they expect in Nigeria to look like. That is ideology. I don't want a country where somebody tell me I emerged as a victor in the primaries because I paid 30 people 200,000 naira. No, you're not the kind of person I want in political office, because that money you paid is an investment. How are you going to recoup it? That means you're going to go on a looting spree. You're going to go in there and going to start calling contracts in your direction. And we're just saying, at what point do we depart from this kind of country, knowing that the foundation is rotten? How can we start afresh? Not throw away the baby and the bathwater, but again, throw away the water and then wash the baby again. This baby, for me, is Peter Obi. Again, I've expressed my bias. I like the guy. I think I admire everything he stands for. I've spoken to him one-on-one for hours. If you have the opportunity, he would strike you in the most exciting way, because everything you would hope for in a leader. I mean, many people are asked, I said, these people running for office in Nigeria, can you leave your business to them? Leave them your house key with your savings account. Go on vacation and come back after 1 year and feel at peace. And the answer I hear is no. So why do you then want to give these people the key to your Nigeria that you think will work for your children? So these are some very poignant questions we need to ask ourselves. Anyways, I'm going to pull back here. Kelechi Ojinaka, go ahead. Mike is yours. Kelechi, we're not there. We'll take Adekunle Yusuf. Adekunle, go ahead.
Yeah, hi guys. Good evening to everyone. I'd like to appreciate the guys for holding forth the space. From my side, I think everybody had said interesting things. For me, I've been I've been part of the process right from I mean the electoral process right from the days of Obasanjo till now, and really it's saddening that for 16 years PDP did not do anything. At some point we felt we needed a change and we're thinking APC was going to be the messiah, but unfortunately 8 years and they're unable to even prove. I think they've even moved us even worse from where we're coming from. And I think it's high time that we we take this draconian action to ensure that, we prove and make a statement that, is either a right government and you have the masses at heart and you want to make a change, or that the people will vote you out. I'm happy that the Electoral Act of 2022 has been passed, and what that means is that the old mentality, which I think is what we need to drive and share across the youths, for them to know that gone will be the days where there will be electoral manipulation, or after a particular vote had been counted in a ward or in a region, and then some people will go change numbers. That would end. And I even like the submission of Evolution in the course of the discussion, where he mentioned that they've even sampled that in the Anambra election, and it is proven that with the new process it will be difficult for even participants in terms of the politicians to contest the votes, because right now it is clear that whatever numbers have been submitted at the wards level would be the numbers that electronically would be collated at the center. So that has been done. For us, I think we just need to identify the right set of candidates. Peter Obi has proven to be such type of candidate that has the proven record and can be seen as somebody who can make a change. Even when Buhari was coming in, then we felt, we needed somebody fresh, somebody who's a little bit strict, that can go after this bad politicians who are stealing and looting the country dry. But unfortunately, he's been there for 8 years and we've not really seen any traction. It's about time for election, and we're seeing the FCC, going after different people. Where were they, a couple of years back? Why have they not been doing this, consistently, to ensure that, those people who are stealing the wealth of this nation can see and be threatened that, there's a government agency that would come after me? I think we need to take an action collectively, and it starts from every one of us on this space. It starts from me, it starts from you. As much as possible, we need to go from our immediate family, those who are ripe enough to vote. I'm very sure the Go Collect Your PVC mantra had been on for a while, and whoever has not done that, by now, I'm not sure that person is interested in voting. So, we can't overemphasize that. But those who already have picked up their vote, we need to start, letting them know, from our own analysis, the right candidates that they should be pitching for. Gone are the days where they will say, you have to vote for a party or because somebody is a messiah. They've been there. PDP is APC and APC is PDP. The guys who are in PDP have moved to APC because, they are following the money. And the guys who are in APC too, who are not getting the benefit from APC, like Saraki, had moved back to PDP, right? So it's the same thing. They are same of the same, right? So for me, I think it's high time we take the bull by the horn as youths of this country, start canvassing locally in your local community, on your streets, your neighborhood, to let people know that these guys can't take us anywhere, and we need to start to look for, candidates of capacity, of competence that can take us to that level. I don't believe in, where they say structure, because your political party doesn't have structure. The Electoral Act now has enabled anybody to win, right? You don't necessarily have to have structure. As long as your votes counts, as long as you have the numbers in terms of those who are eligible to vote and they are voting for you, then your vote will count. You don't need to have people in wards or something. The only thing that you require people to do for you is to be present in terms of, okay, who is the agent for this political party, for example, just to be present at the polling center to witness. That's all they do. They have nothing, they don't have any input, they just witness. So when they say you must have a structure, you only need somebody who would witness right now, based on the new Electoral Act, somebody who will be at the polling center to witness the voting exercise, and then they confirm and sign at the end of the process to say, yes, I was here and I can confirm that the voting was peaceful. That's all they do. and the new electoral act has been electronic, would help with, curbing those vices or the bad habits of the politicians having to change numbers before it gets to the INEC office. So I just want to say I'm happy that the electoral act has been passed, and I just want people in here to take ownership by educating people, to let them know that PDP can't take us anywhere, APC can't take us anywhere. Whoever they're going to be putting up would just be part of the status quo. And if you're a change person and you want a change, and you're not happy where Nigeria is at the moment, then it's high time we start looking for somebody else. I know that was what was mentioned to Buhari even when he came in, to say after 4 years, if you don't make a difference, we'll put you out. But unfortunately, that didn't happen, because that change mantra and the blindfolding of the party and their narrative, beclouded so many people, and they felt, there was going to be a change. But unfortunately, we are where we are today, and there's no difference. I would give my mic at this point. Thank you.
Thanks for that. Let's take. I want to take some ladies, so we have varying voices. Michelle, go ahead. Mic is yours.
Hi everyone. Greetings to everybody. I'm literally just joining the space because I just got home. But I've been listening to the last speaker. I think the game has been twisted, and I love the awakening that this brings, because we all cannot continue to be docile as a people. We cannot continue to just wait on the PDP, wait on these parties to put out people for us. I mean, before Peter Obi resigned from the PDP, we're all just tweeting or somewhere in our minds hoping that he gets the ticket. That's for those who do support him and want him to get the ticket. We all just wanted him to get the ticket, and it felt like everyone was pretty much helpless. For the primaries alone, every single person felt completely helpless. And that's exactly where we have been for a long time. And there's no telling if we would have been just as helpless after the primaries. So I love that, everything has just been turned around. The entire table is just broken, and we're seeing things in a different way. We have the opportunity right now to think in our hearts and consider the possibility of a third force happening, either through Peter Obi or any other person. We can now think outside PDP and the APC. For once, it's crazy it took Peter Obi leaving that party for us to move this way. I don't know if he's going to be announcing a new party. I don't know what his strategy is. I don't know what his plan is. But I just love the fact that for once, someone took a walk. Someone stood for something. Someone stood out for something. And it's got us here on this space talking for hours. I love that. I love that for once, we're not talking about problems. We're thinking in the new direction. We're all having a mind shift. The conversation is different. Why? Because someone took a chance. Someone stood for something and has all of us here talking and thinking about what could be next. This is how politics should be. Not the normal, not business as usual, not delegates collecting millions of naira from individuals because you cannot build a foundation on corruption. You cannot try to be a president of a nation or a governor and starting your foundation off of corruption by paying your way through. You're just going to continue. And I just love the fact that he wasn't without nonsense. He wasn't without bullshit. And he went for something else. Wherever he's going, personally, I'm all for that. So I'm all for wherever it is that he's going. And I hope that those who actually those who are sick and tired of the APC and the PDP altogether can finally just catch a break for once. Because at the end of the day, not a lot of people are going to go with the PDP anyway. And the APC had a higher chance. The power of the incumbents, them always having the best campaigns and have been riding on the campaigns for a very long time. It was definitely going to be based off of PDP and the APC once again. So I just appreciate that move. I love the fact that finally someone is standing up and saying no. Somebody is saying no to these silly delegates who are looking for money. these money grabbers, these hungry people who are hiding in their coffers and have been hiding in their coffers for so long. These people are not being responsible to the things happening in society today. They are not paying attention to the people that were kidnapped at Abuja Kaduna Railroad. People are protesting. People whose family members were kidnapped are out in Abuja visiting Asurok and protesting and asking Mr. President to send people to release these family members. But no one is talking about that. No one is talking about the beheadings and the killings in the East. These so-called delegates are thinking about how to suck money off these people before the end of June. That's all they're thinking about. And I'm just happy that, the nation has gotten some level of rude awakening to the fact that someone can actually stand up for something. And I love the fact that we're having this space, and for once we're talking about a new direction. We're talking about a silver lining. We're talking about hope. We're talking about what could be. What is next? So I just, I don't have much to say. Like I said, I'm just joining the space. I don't know what has been said. I hope I'm not repeating what has been said before, but I just love the fact that he stood for something, and we all have to do better. And lastly, let me just emphasize, if you haven't gotten your PVC, then I don't know what you're doing, because by 30th of May, which is what I think sometime on Monday, maybe on Monday, the portal is going to be closed. Please just go register, so that by June you can go do your biometrics. You can go to the local INEC office in your local government area and do your biometrics. For now, please just register online, get your PVC. Just stay ready, because literally anything can happen. The likes of Banky W are already out there, and so many people are coming out, even more young people. I don't know how many of them have sense, but I just love the dynamics, and I just want us to stay ready and not be everything swings in our favor. By ours, I'm talking about to the people. I'll yield my mic here. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for that. If you're in the room or on this space, inec.cvrnigeria.
cvr.inecnigeria.org. That's
Okay,
it.
cvr.inecnigeria.org. Please.
And for those who haven't transferred their PVC, please transfer. If you've traveled, if you've moved to a new state, a new location, a new street, a new area in Lagos or wherever you are, please just transfer. It doesn't take anything. You just need to take a picture with your phone, click transfer, and they would approve you for the first day. For the first time, you scale through the first stage, and then the second stage, when they look at your picture and they can verify that you're respond to what they have on their server, they will approve for the second stage and ask you to pick your location. Please, if you have a PVC already but you've changed your location, it is still as useless. It just means you don't have a PVC. Please transfer to your location. Do whatever it takes to make sure that you can vote on that day. Please, we cannot trust INEC to also stick by the dates that they've chosen. So please just get your PVC. I beg. Thank you.
All right, cvr.inecnigeria.org. While I'm talking, this is my frog voice, Reno's sweet voice, Oluomo's melodic voice. Just type it in your browser, open up the site, play around. If you're in diaspora, please, I'm equally throwing a diaspora challenge to my brothers that have unlimited data. You can charge your phone any hour of the day you wake up, you're going to the bathroom. You don't have to iron your clothes 48 hours or 72 hours in advance. You don't have generator behind your window. You don't need to smell diesel on your shoes because you went to the backyard to top up to watch Premier League. Just open up the website, see if you can even start the process. Many of you will come back to Nigeria 30 December or for weddings or for funerals. Let's even see, hey, can we even get a subset of Nigerians that would come back to vote? Look, every and anybody should be part of this momentous event. I'm begging, I am pleading. If you can, but I mean, I even want to throw a challenge out there. Drop me a DM. If you're coming to Nigeria to register to vote for your PVC, I will give you free housing, 2 days Airbnb in Lagos or Abuja, any city of your choice. I'm throwing a challenge. Diaspora, take my offer, because for me, this thing, we need to take it to the end of the world. I'm hearing this noise. Oh, people are just on Twitter, they comment, they go on spaces, they go on Clubhouse, they don't vote, they will not get PVCs. Let's even make it to where the most inconvenient situation anyone can think of is actually becoming an opportunity for us to then say, you know what, I am motivated enough to travel across the world just to get a PVC. So let's do it. It's possible. Again, we're not going to outsource our civic duties to this, again, as I hear many times, grassroots. Please, that word provokes me. Let me call it rural voters. Don't expect them to pick the right leader for you. It's their own right to pick who they feel is the best person for them. If they will take 5,000 naira, let that be their own problem. If you won't collect 5,000 naira, you show up and get your own PVC. It will cost you $1,000 to come to Nigeria and get a PVC and vote where they are collecting money. Do it. So again, I think everyone has a dog in this fight. Keep it moving. Gift Ibiba, go ahead. Mike is yours. Gift, are you there? Gift, going once, going twice. Otherwise, we take Amalicha.
Oh, sorry. Good
Okay, Gift.
evening.
Okay, Gift, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Gift Biba. Thank you, my fellow brothers and sisters, for the great job you guys are doing. Thank you for the host and every other person. I'm so happy this night that we, the youth, we are actually thinking at, towards the right direction. Like for us youth to have ourselves here talking about this how we can move this country forward, because seriously I am tired. I have 3 children. I am thinking about this, the future of these children every day, seeing what these old men are doing with this country. I just want to say to all our youth out there, please, let's put our hands together. Let's fight. Let's see what we can do for Peter Obi to be on the ballot paper, for us to push this thing to every news and corner of Nigeria, to see that this man come out. Because I don't, for me, it's like Peter Obi is our hope right now. Peter Obi is our hope. So we just have to do whatever it takes for us to get this man there. Let's just try. I'm doing mine. I'm tweeting. I'm telling people about Peter Obi. Please, let's just do more. If it is the GoFundMe, let's try. Let's whatever we can do, let's do, because we are tired. Everyone is tired. I am tired. I am tired. Thank you very much. That's the little I can contribute. Thank you.
All right, thanks for that. Let's take Ewoma. Ewoma, go ahead. If Ewoma is not
Hello,
there,
can you hear me?
yes, go on.
Yeah, hi. Good evening. Thanks for allowing me to speak, Akin. I just want to talk about 2 things: social engineering and talking with data. I think the most important thing for people like us on stages like this is knowing how to social engineer people around us. First of all, I've gotten my PVC. Everybody in my estate in Lagos has gotten theirs. In fact, my estate organized a PVC drive, and we're still going to do 2 more before it's over. And people around were registering for their PVCs. In India, when they were campaigning for Modi for like 6 years ago, there were call centers that were doing 45,000 calls per day, reaching out to people all over India. India is 1 billion people. Nigeria were just short of 200 million. Those were like pragmatic efforts people were doing. They will call you, call your local government, thank God for Freedom of Information Bill, tell you how much has been spent in that local government over the years, give you serious data on your local government, and swing you to their own side. These are the things I think, these are the pragmatic things I think that people like us here can do. I'm ready to use my infrastructure, my office, have like 5 people making calls every freaking day to see how they can reach out to people. There are 775 local governments. If we are, because I mean, I think we've passed the Rubicon by this point. If we can be reaching out to different nooks and crannies of Nigeria, because almost everybody has a phone in Nigeria. So let's leave like the Facebook, the WhatsApps, and whatever. Let's talk about just strictly just making calls, speaking to people in their language, and giving the data on why they should go this way. I think ideas like this, I think, can really, really fly with third force movements like this. Because I mean, it is that like for lots of people, Obi leaving PDP has been sort of like a weight that has been lifted, because lots of people have been self-censoring themselves before now, because, well, Obi is in PDP, so let's not castigate them that bad, blah blah blah. But now that he's divested completely, there's this sort of relief for some people. Then there's this sort of attraction for people that were, sort of recalcitrant to join the Obi movement. But now that he separated himself, I feel, you know, pragmatic things like this are what we can use to reach out to the nooks and crannies of Nigeria. At last I checked, over 160 million phone lines are in Nigeria. There is no way all of us that are always shouting this our tech this, tech that, app this, app that. Ogbeni, just arrange call center where people go they make calls in different languages. Interact
Mr.
with
Woman,
people.
sorry to cut you short, Mr. Yeah, can you just round the pause and please? And 30 seconds, please. Thank you, sir.
Okay, okay. I think I just said everything I got to say. Thank you.
I'm sure. Yeah. Thank you for the wonderful submission. Mr. Tigerin, just 3 minutes, please, Mr. Tigerin. Thank you. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm a lady.
My apologies. I mean,
Nah,
obviously, I haven't got a
you're
proper
fine.
picture. I was with
You're,
my apologies. But the mic
you're
is
fine.
yours. Go ahead, please. Yeah.
You're fine. Hi everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. I just want to give out 2 points, right? The first is I want to emphasize the importance of desensitization, right? Up until now, I didn't know the power of delegates. Like up until this, Twitter trend and all of that, I didn't know delegates had this much power. And I never knew that the electoral reforms that were changed in 2022 had this much effect, right? So I'm like, if I am just learning this today, or I'm sure that there are many other people like me. So how about we, even if it's to just create a hashtag of your vote can still count or something, to just emphasize that, yeah, you guys, it's no longer about APC and PDP. We now have the power to vote people. I feel like that would encourage people to want to vote, because now they know that their vote can count, right? The second point I want to drop is the same way these people have delegates, in every nook and cranny of the country. Why can't we have our own youth delegates, right? I know that this might sound very not feasible, but I feel like we have coppers, we have youth at every corner of Nigeria. How about we create a network of these youths, right? 700 plus local governments have youths in all these places. Those serve as our delegates. Just like the last week I was talking about phone calls, I believe in grassroots, like I don't want to say grassroots, but like, people, youths going to people's houses, knocking on the doors, explaining to them in their languages. So in summary, I just want us to, first of all, if possible, create a hashtag saying, guys, don't be discouraged. It's no longer about PDP and APC. Your vote can still count. I think that will go a long way. And secondly, how can we create a network of delegates for us? So even places Peter Obi may not Peter, I don't want to say Peter Obi too, right? But like any good candidates we all agree on. So even places they cannot reach with their legs, our delegates can reach there, and help spread the word. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much indeed, Tigerin. I appreciate that time. And once again, sorry, I didn't know you're female. I mean, just like you said yourself, the electoral bill allows electronic transmission of results. I mean, strengthens INEC's financial independence, and of course empowers the commission to reject falsified election results. So, like we all know ourselves, 25th of March, February 2020 will be one of the biggest days in our lifetime. And of course, 11th of March 2023, we're going to have a governorship elections, national assemblies. So, I mean, these electoral new laws will make a big difference, and is the way forward. I mean, it will make sure that obviously, I mean, ideally our country will be better off going into those elections with a new electoral law, which will enhance the integrity of the preparations of conduct of our elections. But yeah, thank you for that, and I'm glad you learned something as well.
So Olomo, quickly. So I think she mentioned grassroots, and she's spot on. Everything she said is what a grassroots movement is all about. So please, you were absolutely spot on. Back to you, sir.
Yeah, so Mr. Orops, the mic is yours, please. 3 minutes quickly, please. Thank you. Orops? I'm not sure if it's in there. Okay, Mr. Waju Akin Emmanuel. Good evening, sir. The mic is yours, sir. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Oluomo. Good evening, Reno and Akin. It's an honor to join you. Please permit me to quickly say this. How did we even get to this level where delegates, became this powerful. I'm a young individual, but I mean, in 1999, I probably still observed the process that led to the emergence of very many leaders that we had. I'm not sure that the delegates were that powerful during the LAM, the Adifaratis of this world, even they were that monetized. Now, I guess that the problem is some individuals intentionally decided to actually destroy the system in a way that only those that would actually sell their souls will be the ones who actually become the delegates. And this is another thing you should know. Those that we call delegates, how educated, how very refined in terms of the way they think are they? These are not even good individuals. Some of them don't even have a job. Now, the beauty of what has happened today, particularly the departure of Mr. Obi from PDP, is that Nigerians now, young individuals like you and I, we're now becoming the delegates. Guess what? Wherever it goes or whoever we're going to support goes to, some of us will actively be involved, politically now, so that we can actually replace or displace, those individuals that call themselves delegates. I mean, why would you be selling what eventually will have an effect on very many Nigerians? I'll tell you something. The foolish thing that has happened is also a very beautiful thing. I mean, we read the news about one individual that paid 2 million to each delegate, and guess what? In the last couple of hours, he's actually gone ahead trying to claim back his money. How about those who even won the primaries? By the time they got to the re-election and they lose, one way or the other, it will affect the system. Some people will start thinking that it's not even worth it, because when you spend money and you don't get exactly what you're looking out for, I mean, there's no need to keep pumping in money. So what I believe now is that Nigerian youth, particularly some of us that are still very agile, still strong, and that we can still go for what we want, it's about time we join political parties, the ones that will probably think we can actually align with. We don't have to join every one of them. And even if we don't want to join political parties, just as we have said, Peter Obi is actually enjoying this level of currency because of the fact that we see him as a very good individual. Some people see him as very good. I'm one of such people, anyways. And it means that Nigerians all across the federation, they were ready to do something special. Just the number of Nigerians that came on Twitter space and all social media portals to make sure that this man, enjoy the level of support he's enjoyed. Now, if Nigerian youth will then flood all those political parties and we become the delegates, it means that nobody can buy it because we all are gainfully employed, or we all have what we are doing. The greatest problem we have is that we have a system that intentionally pauperized people. And that's why why in the first place we have delegates that are not working and they call themselves delegates? They don't have a job. Most of them don't have a job. I mean, I stand to be corrected. Maybe 70% of those that we call delegates don't have a job. The only job they do have is politics. They would have to feed. But guess what? We're going to change that. I'm sure the machineries are already, in place for us to actually have them change, so that we will determine, because we're educated, we know what to want, we know what the nation really, deserves at this particular point. We will do that to make sure that we will never have, a system that will be this monetized and at the same time, weaponized in such a way that is against the masses. So thank you guys, for this space. I'll just use the mic here.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. Faith, Faith Okuye, the mic is yours, Faith. Faith, I don't know if she's okay. Mr. Rosnawo, yeah, the mic is yours, please. Go ahead, Mr. Rosnawo.
Good evening.
Good evening, Faith. You got 3 minutes quickly, please. You have to be quick. The mic is yours. Go ahead.
Yes, literally, I don't have much to say. People have said a lot here tonight, and literally everything that needs to be said has already been, mentioned. I just hope that, we can literally, let's start seeing all of this, in action, because just to make emphasis on what someone said earlier about the fact that these people, APC and PDP, are the same. It is not. I don't know if he's aware of how much accurate that statement is. As someone who work in the service industry and who attend to this class of people on a daily basis, I can attest to that particular statement as, if anything, beyond accurate. It's just on, in the press or in the media, they come and, throw banters when they're looking for vote or when they disagree on maybe some policies or what have you. But at the end of the day, behind closed doors, there is no difference whatsoever. So this thing is Nigerian people against this cabal. The people of this country who are feeling the lash of everything that's going on in this country, the ordinary people like myself, workers, individual students, business owners, ordinary people of this country against these people, regardless of which party they claim to belong to. So it's really going to be a lot of work. So everything that has been said here, I hope indeed that we can all start putting our own part into action on how to start realizing this step by step, these plans to see, these changes that we have been talking about. So I appreciate everyone who have spoken. I've learned a lot from being on this space. Thank you so much. I wouldn't take more than this. I hit my mic here. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that wonderful submission, Faith. Thank you. Mr. Rosenau, please. The mic is yours.
Hi, thank you, Loma. You still pronounce my surname wrongly all the time.
My apologies.
I'm going to fire you. All right. So quick one. I'm not going to speak in line of what most of the speakers have said. I'm just going to add a reality check. So Peter Obi's left PDP. I've read the resignation letter. I'm not saying that's left because of the delegates, but that's the assumption that left because of the delegates. One, I'm surprised that a lot of people are bashing delegates of political parties, and it shows how much many people or young people, most Nigerians online, do not understand how the political system works. So if you start a political party today, you will have delegates. If you form yourself together today, you will have delegates. And to say delegates are jobless, idiots, clowns, delegates have existed since 1999. We've had them at every party selection process, whether it was even when there was a consensus, there were delegates. And the fact that most people don't know that the delegates hold the keys to selection within the party says a lot about the understanding of the political process itself. I beg to differ with Peter Obi. If he's resigning from PDP because of delegates, then I must say he's not prepared to be the president of Nigeria. So if you wanted to be president, those who want to be president have been running around for the past 2-3 years. They know they have to confront the delegates. So what did he do to get his own people to become delegates? And that's quite important. So when you form a new political party, if you will select people from ward level, from local government level to become delegates, and delegates have a mind of their own. The whole idea that, delegates are being bribed, as if there's no corruption across the city in Nigeria. So if you form a new political party today, you're going to appoint delegates that are angels, or you're going to run elections without money. So I must say this, no candidate will come out in May and win an election within the next 6 months without political structure. And that political structure is tied to those delegates. So they are not just delegates, they're not just individuals. They are guys who are connected to grassroots, councils, streets, held meetings for the past 13, 14, 15 years. They know Baba, this, Mama, that you and I don't know. So for you to build a system, you probably need to understand that system before everybody casts aspersion at the system. And that's quite important. It's also nice everybody wants to start making calls, but I would say this. If you want to form your own political party and you all agree to one thing, then you can start convincing people. But don't forget, to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you need to win 2/3 of the states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, not just the states on Twitter. And politics is funny. Democracy is funny. People have a mind of their own, whether you give them money or not. Any new party that wants, why do you think the likes of Showore and all the fringe parties, all the political parties except APC and PDP have never won the general election? Because if you undermine APC and PDP that they don't have the political structure, then you're wrong. Delegates elected the US president, they go to a delegate system as well. And one last thing to add, which is shocking, if Peter Obi is leaving PDP because of delegate system, how was Peter Obi made a candidate when he contested an APCA to become the governor of Anambra, right? He himself said it in one of his interviews that one who was a minister, I can't remember, ABC or something, nominated him and then said, okay, go get Peter Obi to become governor. And that's how he was invited from the bank. So the idea that consensus don't happen, the idea that godfathers don't exist in politics, the idea that you just have a new paradigm shift to politics in Nigeria is essentially not true. The market woman has a stake. The guys you think are not educated, you think they know nothing about politics, they are better off at canvassing than all of us who speak English on Twitter. They man their streets, they live there, they never leave 10, 15, 20 years. They're there. They man the polling units on election day. 734 local governments across Nigeria. How are you going to man the polling units? And you need to win two-thirds to win a general election. It's not beans. So sometimes I think we're excited wanting a new Nigeria, but we underestimate the challenge that it takes for even parties like PDP or APC to even put. Can you say every time they all keep fighting, despite having a structure in place? So that's my point. It's good if Peter Obi is leaving and he's saying he wants to start building for the future, the next 10 years, maybe. But Peter Obi should know better that no candidate will come at the 11th hour and win a general election in Nigeria. Elections are won because there's someone at local, at the ward level, convincing people on who to vote for, at the local authorities and everywhere. And those people are so important to the political process. You can't do away with them. Elections are about numbers. It's not about those of us who like each other or those who can speak English. Half of Nigeria doesn't probably speak all this plenty grammar that we speak. And on election day, to say that money will not be spent, do you even know that when you select agents for your polling units on election day across this country, you pay polling unit agents? It's not free. So I'll stop there because maybe it's either people need to study the political process, understand the existing parties, why they have what they have, and then decide this is the best way out. But at every time there's an election, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months down to the election, there's this old happiness jumping around that we're going to start something new, we're going to do something new. Election is going to come and it's going to be, yeah, we tried our best. Then we wait till the next election, 2027, then 1 year to that election, the buzz starts all over again. And that's why I support a lot of young people that are, see, the young people joining APC, PDP, I don't crucify them anymore. They're serious. They're taking it serious. They're dealing with the real issues, going into those political parties to know what's going on. And that's it. So again, Peter will be leaving what next? Nothing. Because there were two political parties in that country. I mean, even Buhari's trajectory is a case study. With all the support he had, he never won the general election until he built an alliance. Think about that alone. How long Buhari had to wait until he could build an alliance. So we can't even build. So when young people just Obi says, "I'm leaving," who are you building alliances with? Who? Twitter people, young people, really? He's never won any election. That idea has never. Yeah, it's good to be excited, but let's be realistic. Elections are won on ground. Thank you.
So thank you, Mr. Rosonwo. I guess I pronounced that correctly. Even if Uloma is from Ijebu, and they always claim to be superior to Lagos people, Yoruba Lagos, I still pronounce that correctly. It is Rosonwo, not the way you just, butchered the name. But then thank you very much for your submission. I think that's how it's here. But then your submissions, Mr. Rosonwo, it seems like you just pour the cold water on my face and say, "Wake up, don't sleep, wake up." But then I guess that at times, shocks of reality is needed to be able to checkmate some of our emotional yearnings, because at times we can become too emotional at times, or um disconnected from reality. Some of the things you said are actually connected to what Nigeria reality is today. So thank you. Since God's eyes not there, Steven, if you're there, go ahead.
Hi everyone. Good evening. Um, it's been like really like important conversation going on. Thank you so much. Mr. Wilson also, well, Reno actually said, it was like you just poured cold water. I was just with my mouth open. And the truth is, like, everything that he said is like kind of like reality, right? But I just also want to say that it is important that as much as we realize that, okay, this is the situation, this is how things have been, this is, this is what is the current reality. Like, we must not also at the same time, dash any form of hope, because really that's what keeps people going. That's what makes people want to actually take the next step, to actually see the change that we desire. So while we say, okay, these are the problems, these are the challenges, let's also not, allow those challenges kind of like draw us back. Because like I see a lot of people saying things like, if you're not coming in through PDP or APC, you have zero chance. These parties, they actually, like, over the years, they've been able to build themselves to that point where, like, it is general consensus to a large extent that they are the only two major parties, of which, if you're not going to contest through either of them, you have no shot at winning the presidency. But the reality is, like, I don't sound like I'm like just like maybe like some hopeless romantic song, like hopeless political romantic, but the reality is they did the work, right? So it's also possible that we can also like do the work, with any like party with like a good vision and with something strong on the line. So I'm just trying to say in essence that we shouldn't like dash away hopes and think that, okay, it is only by virtue of two major players that anything good can happen. Because the truth is, the majority in those two parties, the majority are not there for the good of the country. So if a third party, a third option, a fourth option, sixth option, it shouldn't be like ruled out in the minds of Nigerians that, oh, it is impossible. Yeah, I don't think it is impossible. So I just want to say that we should, encourage, people that are interested in like, running aside from those two places, and not like keep it like out of like, oh, is zero, like there's zero possibility, basically. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Stephen, for that warm water that you threw. Olomo, over to you.
Yeah, is it Mr. Didi? Yeah, go ahead, please. 3 minutes, please. Yeah, thank you, sir.
All right. Did you go? Not did you? Well, I thank everyone here on this space. I really want to start by saying, Mr. Rosanwo, some of the things you said here is really a bit discouraging. Uh, Going by the way everybody were happy that Peter Obi really left the PDP at this point in time. And you mentioned that in his letter that he never mentioned the delegates as his reason for leaving PDP. He stated very clearly the reason why he left PDP, not because of delegates. And in this game of politics, I must tell you, 5 minutes is a lot of time, very, very big time to make changes. In the case of the man that's lumped, he was hoping to win until that dying minute. So telling us 7 months is not enough is a whole lot of time in this game of politics. And he didn't just make that move to leave PDP now. I'm sure he knew he was going to leave PDP even before he traveled out of the country. He must have strategized on his next step. So I know Peter knows what he's doing. And APC was formed to oust PDP, and they succeeded in 2015. A new political party, though he have not declared, can still come up with good ideas and the personality of Peter Obi. They can do something great and help the cry of average Nigerians. There's a lot of hunger, and this man have really given a lot of people hope. Come to where I'm staying around my area, you see people who even want to japa. They okay. Let's just watch what will happen between now and next year to know are we really living, because this man have really given everybody this sense that there is hope. And we don't want this hope to die. Thank you.
All right. Oloma, I think we probably want to round up shortly, but we'll give the speakers on stage an opportunity. Rosanwa, I see you want to come back, but before you come back, I equally want to say this. I'm one of those crusaders of hope. Again, I think as bad as we have it in Nigeria as Nigerians, I never want to truly always discard anything good as something that we would get to enjoy in our lifetime. And I say that because from a very good place, APC and PDP can always be displaced as the establishment parties. PDP had a strong grip on Nigeria. It took an APC with a lot of Judas action to dislodge them from Astor Rock. I don't think the young people and well meaning Nigerians in Nigeria should equally be stripped of that opportunity or perhaps that courageous action in saying they cannot equally throw out this establishment called APC after many years of ruining and dismantling our country. I don't even know what's left for us to fight for, but we're just going to keep fighting. Now, Peter has not given his reasons for why he left PDP. I have some back channel reasons, but again, I would let him speak for himself. But I think it just comes down to the absolute corruption and impunity that exists within PDP as a political party. There are many people that will always tell you that, oh, we don't have party of ideologies in Nigeria. It's just parties of opportunities. I think for once, win or lose, let him take us on this journey where I would throw my money, my support, my energy, all of my time to a candidate that tells me or reassures me that, you know what, all hope is not lost on Nigeria, where we're just a country filled with corrupt people and only a system that will have delegates that will take millions for someone to emerge as a candidate. Let him be that candidate that we fund with our little purse strings and print t-shirts for our face cap. Give us that little hope that's left. I think Nigeria should not be deprived of that. So again, this political calculus, I often hear that, oh, it's PDP, it's APC. You need 5 years to build a strong structure, momentum. Electoral Act reform, again, I think we equally want to say, in a way, maybe on the side of a third force, not independent candidate. However, Peter Obi seems to be an independent in the grand scheme of things, not running on a structure, but running on, again, I would say, the goodwill that many people would hope to throw in his direction. So I'll say let's probably pull a step back, take a step back from truly just discouraging everyone and saying it's not possible. But again, we hear you. I think it only just makes people understand that they need to work harder. But I'll let you take the mic and then we'll take Dr. Bayonle and we'll go next to Elisa Disa. Rosan, we'll go ahead, please.
All right. Apologies if I made you guys feel but because I've been involved in the political process since 1999, my understanding of the processes has sometimes been realistic. I used to be a student union leader, I used to be an activist, right? And then went into politics, understood the process more. APC that you see today is AD, CPC, ANPP, founding parties merged to become APC. It's not a new party. PDP is the only party that has stood since 1999 till date. And even PDP can be traced to a lot of political structures that existed before 1999. So what am I saying? I believe young people or new set of people can build a new system and challenge the status quo. My concern is this discussion happens only 6 months, 7 months to a general election. And that itself is not the ideal. The ideal is and why I question Peter is if tomorrow he says, you know what, guys, win or lose this election, we're going on. We're building a structure beyond. Yeah, fine. I'll support such a position. But that idea that we do these things, I've seen it happen too many times. And once elections are over, general election, people just fizzle out and forget about these real issues you're raising here tonight. And that's why I try to bring down back that reality. It's a long-term process. And people need to understand what they're getting themselves involved in. It's not just you showing up on Twitter this week. You've got to show up every week, every day, probably for the next 5, 6, 7 years, because there's also the possibility of even getting power, not even knowing what to do with the power at some point, which happened to Buhari. The reality matters a lot, and the politicians don't deceive themselves. They may be campaigning and giving you all this drama, but right behind the scene, they don't deceive themselves. They try to lock down, build alliances with whoever is relevant in every local authority. Now, another thing and another concept is this: democracy does not work perfectly well without having an educated population, because there are quite a lot of things you want to explain. That idea of explaining to people that short-term gain of collecting money is not in the best interest of the masses versus long-term gain. Let's build this country. It's difficult getting across. And that's one of the key issues. So voters education, even the education we give out to people. And this education, trust me, the political system controls that narrative day in, day out. Your radio, your TV, everything people have read in the last 4 years informs how they vote at the next election. And those are the things that probably building a structure should address. But honestly, I believe with hope things are possible, but just being realistic sometimes. And that's it. For the records, I campaigned for Buhari. Lost 2 elections, he won 1 election. I'm as disappointed as every Nigerian. So you can understand that some of us will actually even put sweat in for a candidate that messed up. I understand what it even took to get a candidate that messed up. And it's going to be twice that effort to get a candidate that means well for Nigeria. Trust me, democracy is a dangerous thing. Go on the streets. That idea that people think APC and PDP is bad for the country, majority of Nigerians still support these 2 political parties. You may argue, you may say it, but when the elections come, you see them voting for that party, whether they're induced or not. So I don't know how we're that balance between the economic needs, Maslow's law, the individual needs of the people, the immediate need, hospital bills, this, that. And I must say, our politicians have done this on purpose to ensure that education is bastardized so they can do all this nonsense they're doing and keep us poor. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Mr.
All
Wilson,
right.
I just want to ask Mr. Wilson a quick question, sir. Because I want to take him along the line, the APC and PDP.
Yeah.
I think I disagree with him. One of your points, sir. I think in 2019 we had about 84.5 million registered voters according to INEC, and obviously President Muhammadu Buhari was re-elected with 15.2 million APC voters, which we could agree that was not even the majority. And then I think Atiku Abubakar had about 11 million votes, and then other political parties about 27 million votes, which means over 55 million Nigerians did not vote. So that means that 55 million Nigerians do not believe in APC and PDP. So after that 55 million people, if 20 million Nigerians have come out and vote for any party, for example, maybe a third force, they would have beaten President Muhammadu Buhari hands down easily. So that means that those 55 million people do not believe in APC and PDP. I'm one of the Nigerians that I've always been fans.
I agree with you.
My opinion is the fact that APC and PDP has never delivered good governance maybe you could like it all day long. I didn't enjoy good governance until I came up with Nigeria. So all my years in Nigeria, for 25 years, wherever it is, I've always suffered from bad governance, under PDP bad governance, under APC bad governance. I voted for Muhammadu Buhari in 2015. Obviously, I didn't vote for him in 2019 because I mean, I was even angry at the fact that it took him 6 months to even, to get ministers in power. And then you come with ministers, people like Adamu, the Minister of Education. The fact that Adamu was even re-elected, was even given power again in 2019. I didn't understand, because from 2015 to 2019, the Minister of Education did nothing at all. Nothing he did. And then you have a Minister of Information like Lai Mohammed, who was just a minister of lies. I put it that way. It's not even information. So the fact that is, after 6 months, I realized that this man, everything he said was just a pit of lies instead. At the end of the day, what did we get under Buhari between 2015 and 2019 was full of bad governance. So there was no way I was going to, vote for him again in 2019. That's just a fact. So when you talk about APC and PDP, that's what I'm saying. 55 million Nigerians do not believe in them, just like me as well.
Oluoma, just to respond, I don't want to take it. I agree with you 100%. But with the elections, for every other person who sits at home, for every other person who does not vote, for every other person who casts parties for 12 other parties that splits the vote, you actually endorse the candidates of mainstream party. 1, 2, Lagos State, the state that generates the highest IGR. They claim probably the most educated, the swag, education, and everything. The governors of Lagos State have always been elected by the minority of the minority of the minority. Because on election day, you all sit at home. Lagos State, where they pay tax, where they raise the highest IGR. Have you asked yourself why? Do you know the numbers that got what's his name in Sanwo-Olu in million and some very ridiculous number got him in? But you know what? That's democracy, and it's legal. He wins the election, he becomes the governor. But you know what? Don't underestimate the political process. That if you turn out your numbers, they would also turn out their numbers. They mobilize as well. I'm just putting you to the challenge. Thank you very much. Much respect.
All right.
If I just want to come in for 30 seconds. Oluomo, as a statistics student, I disagree with you when you say 55 million Nigerians do not support APC and PDP because they sat at home. There are several factors that could have come into play because of that. Some of them may be disenfranchised. Some of them may not be at the location where they're registered. Some of them may not be in the country at that time because they've jackpot. Some of them may have feared the violence that was going on in their area. There could have been other factors. So we can't just conclude that the 55 million people who did not vote, in 2019, did so because they did not like APC or PDP. I just wanted to put that in. I can over to you.
All right, great. And Rosan, we did something there. So you've been part of the political establishment. So I like the fact that you're very transparent and honest with your submission. But there's something you failed to do through the process of talking about why our politics suffers the high level of voter apathy we see on election day. You cannot stand tall and still accuse residents of Lagos who would plan their Saturday for their daughters' weddings, for any ceremonies, to go out to run their businesses. People like me that pay salaries, pays all the things needed to drive commerce in the city, only for that Saturday to get disrupted. And then they tell me that on another Saturday, I'm expected to sacrifice my livelihood, my personal time, and all the beautiful things I love to do to come and vote for another politician. I'll end up stealing the Commonwealth's money. And I say this because going to 2023, there's going to be a social contract. If you guys dare postpone elections, we will chase you out of your houses. We will make politicians relocate to Niger Republic and Benin Republic. And I think that contract has to be very firm from the citizens of Nigeria. So I'll give an example. On my street, I saw neighbors showing up at the NSA protest at the toll gate, cooking rice, dragging coolers of water. These same people would not come out to vote on election day, but guess what? Their gate men, their housemates, their drivers are showing up to the election polls to cast votes in exchange for 200, 500 now. So there's something that's been done by the political class, which again, unfortunately, you belong to, right? You can bend, you can be a reformer today. But I say this because on election day in Nigeria since 2003, the way they have disenfranchised voters And again, that was just a jab. Don't take me too seriously. On election day, they basically destroyed more than 50% of the well-meaning votes by only making sure that the induced class of voters are the ones that show up majorly to the polls. And who are these people? I call them the reliable voting bloc of the political establishment. You want to pick the NURTW members, the Iyalodgers and their gangs, all of the associations that, again, they will drop Ghana must go for their leaders, and all of the sundry lists. I don't want to go top to bottom, but you know the crew I'm talking about. Then you now have ordinary, everyday Nigerians. You want to compete with this induced class. After giving up one Saturday, you want to give up another Saturday. I must have traveled across the country. So let's be very realistic. Let us pinpoint why we have very low turnout and voter apathy. So again, just simply blaming Nigeria and saying, oh, the elite sit home or the educated class sit home. And we're saying something. Going to 2023, get your PVC. There's an electoral act that on election day, people will not fight from ECA to tear a ballot result sheet because they want to go and give it to their godfather or one Baba Saleh in exchange for little change. That result is traveling electronically. Take Anambra, take Edo as an example. So I want to say this because I need to demystify the experience you may have had in previous electoral cycles in saying what we've seen 2015, 2019 will replace itself in 2023. It will not be the same reality, and we're going to keep preaching this message. I yield. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Akin. I think I'll take Dr. Bayonle Suze's here. And I see Ebuka in the room. Ebuka, please come up. I sent you a speaker invite. Dr. Bayonle, go ahead. Dr. Bayonle is not there. Take Joshua.
All right. Good evening, everybody. And thank you so much for this opportunity to speak here. Now, I just want to talk about some few things and solution that can be applied
for local government in Nigeria, and of course, an average of 10 words.
Hold on. Just a moment.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Joshua, go first, then come.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, the first thing I want to say is that it's a currency that must not be dashed. Hope is a currency. The whole End SARS movement, no matter how a lot of people thought it was impossible, was driven by hope. People thought, okay, we have a hope of having a Nigeria where the police or the SARS does not molest Nigerians. And a lot of people went with that hope. A number of people also did not believe in it, but because of they saw other people talk about it, get involved, they got involved, right? So human beings have this, I'm trying to find the word to use, should I say a herd mentality, where if they find a group of persons doing something, it's possible that they go towards that direction also. So that's basically why I'm saying that hope is a very important currency that must not be dashed. So if we're talking about a way forward, and then there is a narrative that is being pushed that the system in place may not favor the move that PDP has made, then that is not really so nice for this discussion, because no matter how much we want to talk about what we term reality, hope also comes in a place. There is a reason why Martin Luther King basically kept saying, I have a dream. That dream was basically what drove something that became a reality, and hope must not be dashed. Now, with that said, 2023 is not supposed to be a game of choosing the lesser evil over the greater one. It's not a game of that. This is a point where we have to choose somebody who we love, somebody who we believe can do this work. And in doing this whole thing, mindset is something that is very important. Now, I'm going to talk about this a little bit, then I'll just talk about the thing I'm thinking of. Mindset is a very important thing. The whole fight about choosing a good leader for Nigeria basically is largely mental. It's largely mental. Once people can think in a certain way, they can act in that way. Come on, think about it. How are terrorists able to take a bomb, lace themselves up with it, and then go into a crowd of people and bomb themselves, forgetting about their own futures? It's a mentality that was given to them. They were indoctrinated to think about something. So a large part of this, our fight, is mental. Now, let me talk about it on Peter Obi's side. Apart from the fact that we believe that Peter Obi is smart and all that, his decisions are also fueled by the support he receives from the people around. Because think about it, no other contestant or aspirant had a 1 million man march or a plan for it. But he had that, and that gave him hope. That told him that, look, people are behind me, and so I can make some very important, some very strategic moves, and people can actually follow me on that. Now, understand that Peter Obi himself is not, should I say, a machine of some sort. Peter Obi is fueled by his emotions also. And as long as there are supports that can be given to him, he can actually do a lot of things. So the work is basically now on us to be able to get people to think in a certain way. Get people to think in a certain way. There's this talk we hear a lot that people on Twitter don't have PVCs, right? We can, while this maybe it's true that some people on Twitter don't have PVCs and all that, right? We can also change the minds of people that already have PVCs. You understand? We can also change their minds, and this is basically what my proposition is. A lot of us are here on WhatsApp. A lot of us are here on Facebook, on Instagram, and all that. But there is this platform that works a lot with Nigerians, WhatsApp. And there are people that are called WhatsApp influencers. Now, why am I trying to point out WhatsApp? It's basically because we have people who would not be on Facebook, who would not be on Twitter, who would not be on Instagram, but are on WhatsApp. For instance, our parents, a lot of us know that the primary means of communicating to us by our parents are WhatsApp. It's something that they understand a lot. A lot of us understand how much our parents send all these viral messages and all that. So we can actually use WhatsApp as a means of getting people. Now, how do we do that? This is basically what I want to propose. First of all, I think the influencers on this space can do something like this. We have a group, not necessarily WhatsApp. We have a group, or maybe Telegram, a group that can contain thousands of people. The goal is to give a form of indoctrination for a certain candidate that we feel is good. We have a big group that accommodates a lot of people, and then we employ a set of people, copywriters. Now, copywriters are people basically that have that understand how to use the power of persuasion in words. For instance, not everybody can sell a candidate. I might be asked to make a post about Peter Obi. I mean, I don't know what to do. You may be asked to make a post about him, and all you can say is Peter Obi is good, Peter Obi is this, Peter Obi is this. But there are people that understand how to use words of persuasion. So one thing we can do is we have these copywriters as a part of that group I just talked about, and then these copywriters basically have contents that they put out daily that the members of that group can actually reshare on WhatsApp to sell a candidate that we like. All right. So these copywriters know
Joshua,
how
can you
to.
wrap up, please? Thank you.
Okay, I'll do that. Now, these copywriters basically know how to use persuasion to get people to do something, right? And maybe we have 100 of them, and so these people are not really tasked with so much. We have 2 persons working for today, 2 persons working for tomorrow, 2 persons working for the next day. So in a whole month, we have content already laid down. Now, these contents are now shared on WhatsApp. This content could involve things like FAQs. Why do we want this person? Why do we want this person? When he was a governor, what did he do in the state? Basically, the things that are usually said online. We also have part of the things they can also do is also to handle questions like try to make people understand the power. For instance, the things that have happened recently, we now
All
understand
right,
how
so
powerful.
Joshua, sorry, it's almost midnight. Apologies, I didn't mean. I'm not cutting you off. I think you shared some great ideas. Kudos. I think again you're thinking in the right direction. But my only feedback to you would be: you start a Telegram group. It can take as much as 5,000 people. Reno, I think you have 2 Telegram groups where you've equally gathered people. You share messages. You try to motivate. You galvanize. You grassroots. Do that again. Look, I say strategy is a word people throw out in a public forum and go to sleep. Be that one, be that person that starts, that lights the fire, carry the torch, and others will run behind you. If you've started it, DM me, DM Reno, will throw support in your way. We'll keep the mic moving. I think we lost Dr. Bayonle. He was gonna speak next. If you're in the audience, please come back up. Let's take.
The mic should go to Oluomo, please.
Yes, I
Thank
know.
you.
I was just Oloma, go ahead.
Oh shit! Is it Mike? Mike? I don't know who's next in place. I think is Mr. King Will. I'm not too sure who's next. King, who's next in place?
So let's take King Williams and then Sarumi, but it was the Bayonle that was next, and I think he probably left by accident. But King Williams, go ahead. Mike is yours. And again, if you need the registration portal for the PVC, it's cvr.inecnigeria.org. It ends in 5 days. 5 days, 5 days. This thing will end in 5 days. One my party kini nijo help me.
You don't even understand. You
Ojo
can't
Maru,
even speak it.
Hold
You
on.
can't
I
even.
wanted to change. I wanted to switch to my mother keke and
What
erase.
did
I was trying to
Oluomo
figure out
say?